Mark Zuckerberg has made a massive announcement. He is going to restore free speech on his platforms and he's going to end the censorship on Facebook and Instagram. And the news has massive implications on Australia. So I wanted to talk about this today because there has been some widespread reaction both from abroad and also from our very own Prime Minister. So Mark Zuckerberg, in a video earlier this morning, has announced that the social media company is going to remove fact checking from Facebook and Instagram, restore free speech, and use content moderation such as community notes in replacement of this program. It is time to get back to our roots around free expression on Facebook and Instagram, he said. There's been widespread debate about the potential harms of online content. Governments around the world have been pushing to censor more and more. It is clearly political. There's legitimate bad stuff out there, but we are going to act responsibly. Now, Mark Zuckerberg, with this announcement, has sparked discussion about how the social media minimum age ban that passed in November of last year is going to be viewed by the company. And we actually have some insight onto that now. Meta's Chief Global Affairs Officer, Joel Kaplan, was actually asked this morning on Fox and Friends about his thoughts on the ban. So let's listen here into what he thinks.
For children and all your customers.
Australia has banned social media up until you're 16 years old. How do you feel about that?
We think the right way to do it is to trust parents. That's what we're doing with the teen accounts that I mentioned. Mm-hmm. And you know, obviously, we've got to work with governments and follow the laws that they pass. But I think there's a better way, and that's to put parents in charge. They know what's best for their teens and their kids, and that's what we're trying to do.
So he said, basically, parents know what's best for their children. We had over 15,000 submissions within 24 hours in response to the social media minimum age bill being passed in the Senate late last year. And several people made the exact same argument. So it is interesting to see the Chief Global Affairs Officer also have the same sentiment. But let's not worry too much about Meta and what they think about it. What does Albo think about this news? Well, he was actually asked what his thoughts are about it this morning. And let's see what he has to say.
Look, you're in Queensland at the moment, but I just want to touch on some breaking news that's come out overnight from the United States first. Mark Zuckerberg has said that he wants to work with President Donald Trump to push back on governments around the world that are going after American companies and pushing to censor social media more. Do you worry that your social media age restrictions could have inadvertently picked a fight with the incoming President Donald Trump?
What we're doing is defending the rights of young Australians and defending Australian families. Too many people have been impacted directly by tragedies resulting from social media's impact on young Australians. I've met with parents who've lost their little ones. That should never occur. And we know that the rise in mental health issues has been linked as well to social media. And we make no apologies for standing up for the interests of young Australians. I know that our strong action is being watched right around the world because other leaders that I've spoken to have indicated that they applaud the fact that Australia has taken this action. It's been done. It went through the Parliament with overwhelming support, and it has the support of Australian families. And we'll continue to do the right thing.
If President Trump did have a go at you about it, though, would you stick to your guns?
Well, the social media ban is an Australian policy in the interests of young Australians and Australian families. And we say to Australian parents, we've got your back. We've listened. We've engaged with you on this. This is a sensible reform that has passed the Parliament and is now Australian law. We'll consult, obviously, as part of the legislation was a consultation process of 1 year to make sure that all the measures are put in place in an appropriate way. But this is a sensible policy responding to what is a new issue, a new technology which is having an impact on our youngest generation. And that is why the government has acted, and my government will stand up for Australia's interests.
Well, you're in.
So she asked Albo whether he has picked a fight with Donald Trump, and he completely avoided the question. He did not respond to that part of the question at all. He's saying that we have a majority of support between the coalition and the Labor Party. A lot of the parents that we polled also support this bill, and we have a 1-year implementation period to enact the age assurance trial. What are you guys' thoughts on this? Albo has said that he's going to push ahead with this legislation. However, the chief global affairs officer says the right way to do it is to trust parents because they know what's best for their children. Mark Zuckerberg is going to wind down is going to bring back free speech and wind down online censorship on his platforms. What are your thoughts on that? I'd like to know how you guys feel with regards to this breaking news. But that is the reaction and the implications that it will have on Australia. Are politicians going to respond kindly to Mark Zuckerberg, to Elon Musk, and to Donald Trump and wind down social media censorship policies in Australia? Or are they going to move ahead? Now, one thing that I want to also just quickly remind you guys is that Peter Dutton announced before the bill passed that if he did win the election, within 100 days, he would pass the social media minimum age bill. So this was going to happen under either government. It does not matter whether it was Albo or Dutton. But who is going to respond in a more positive way? Is it going to be Albo? Is it going to be Dutton? I think between the two, it looks like it would be Dutton. However, he was going to pass the bill anyway if he won the election. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you so much for you guys tuning in, and I will see you guys in the next one.